Hey guys, here are 8 questions that I recommend asking a lawn care company. This is just my list and the ones I think that are important, but you might have something different that you really need depending on your what you're looking for in the property that you have. But they're not really in any order, but the first 3 I'll say are very important because they deal with legal issues and you want to make sure that these are dealt with. The first one is going to be insurance. You want to make sure any company that steps foot on your property has a liability policy. The state of Texas requires this, and most of the companies are going to have a $2 million policy that will cover just about anything that could happen. You don't want a company that damages anything and then takes off on you. You want to make sure that they can get it fixed. The other thing is if they harm anybody due to equipment malfunction or anything like that, or themselves are hurt on your property, this can come back to you and your homeowners and insurance to have to deal with. So you want to make sure that that is taken care of. That's a big one. This goes from anything from maintenance to installs to landscape companies putting up your Christmas lights. You'll make sure that they are insured. The second one's going to be on your pesticide license. So any company that comes to spray any fungicide, any insects, or any weed control products in your turf or in your beds, they must carry a Texas Department of Agriculture pesticide license. There are 2 different versions of this. There's a structural and then a TDA license. But so some form of that they need to have. It's going to be on a commercial license, and you want to make sure they have that. That way they're following the laws set by the state. And the third one is going to be irrigation license. This falls under TCEQ. You must have a company must have an irrigation license if they step foot on your property to fix any irrigation, modify it, or even install it. So even if you hire somebody to come fix a head, a nozzle, repair broken drip tubing, or modify the entire backyard, install something new, they must have this license. So both these are important to make sure that you're covered and protected in case anything were to happen. Now I'm going to go ahead and say the fourth one is going to be if they accept credit cards. We're in 2020 now, and most companies will accept credit cards. Like a lot of us, we will only accept credit cards for the most part. We don't want to be leaving checks or anything under the doormat. We'll try to reduce the amount we're sending through the mail as well. Credit cards are one of the safer ways of making payments. And then the fifth one will be scheduling. You want to make sure that the company is putting you on some type of schedule. We always have a set day that you'll be on, and we may move that due to weather. Most of the time it's just weather or holidays or something like that. But you want to make sure you're on a schedule. That way you know the day that they're coming, and if anything changes you will be informed of that. And that way you're kept up to date. If you got to pick up the backyard or dogs or anything that you may need to playing around. And the sixth one I think is pretty important. You want to ask them what happens if you have an issue. So if you contact them because of something either happened or didn't happen and you want to address it, how is it handled? Is somebody going to come out to your property and look at it? Are you going to be addressed? Is the issue going to be addressed in a timely manner? We actually use a software for the business, and our guys have it on their phones, and it's also in the office. So if you were to contact us about something, we would put it in the notes, whether it's something that needs to be addressed immediately or on the next visit. It will get addressed one way or another. You can even send us pictures, and it'll be in your job for every visit from then on. They can either see it, say, hey, I need to trim, make sure to trim this bush this way next time. Here's the picture of the bush. They will see that on their job on the next visit. Vice versa, if we see something, our guys can take a picture of it, and it will notify us in the office, and we can email it to you and let you know as well. So that's a good question to ask to see how they're going to handle it and make sure that they will handle any issues that you have. That way you don't have a company kind of taking off on you. So number 7 is going to be kind of the same. I say it's communication. You want to make sure you have an open line of communication, whether it's through a phone call or email. a lot of companies these days are easy. It's easy for them to respond to email and not getting tied up with phone calls, because a lot of phone calls do come in. Whether you have an issue or whether you're looking to upgrade a service, or just questions regarding anything that may be happening on your property, you want to make sure there's somebody you can talk to. Here, we've got somebody in the office that can address your accounting issues, and then we have field managers that can handle anything in the field. So that's something good just to have out there, and make sure you can speak with somebody. The eighth one, which it's the final one, not really the last one, but you want to make sure they either have their trucks marked or they're in uniform, because you don't want anybody, whether it's somebody else in your family that doesn't know that we're coming and they're not uniformed and they're in their backyard, you don't know who they are. The best thing to do is just know that they're in a uniform, and when you see like these maroon shirts with the logo, that it's Century running around your property and getting everything cleaned up for you. But you just want to make sure that everything's marked one way or another. It just helps out you. It helps out your neighbors as well. If guys are walking around your yard and not in uniform, your neighbors could get a little frightened by the situation. You just never know what may be going on. But these are my questions I think are good to start with asking. And of course, add on all you want on that or take some away, but I think these are some of the important ones. If you have any comments or questions, just leave it below and we'll get you taken care of. Thank you.